I figured everybody else is doing it in the creative world, so here is my Mount Rushmore of graphic designers. Starting the list at number 1. This was my influence whenever I was working at Missouri State, and even now he's doing it. He is killing it down in Florida. Anthony Garro. When he was back at Boston College, he was one of the biggest influences in the brand identity and structure, inspiration, if you will, in terms of putting together the entire brand for Missouri State when I was there. I love the rustic look and the things that he was able to incorporate with the Boston College look, which they've even stuck to today. The stuff he's done at Florida is impressive. Everything at Florida is freaking amazing, from the video work to the graphic design. All their graphic designers are freaking amazing. But Anthony Garro, he is on my Mount Rushmore of graphic designers. He's absolutely phenomenal. Coming in at number 2, Will. You might as well just call this the freaking first team all glaze, because I feel like that's what it is, and don't take that a weird way. But Will Whitty of Texas A&M, formerly of Georgia. I started following Will's work when he was at Georgia, and even a little bit of his work when he was at Fox Sports. He's one of my favorite creatives and has been. His black and white parlayed with the red and the maroon that he's been able to achieve. Shout out to my guy Austin as well. Austin does amazing work. He works down there as the assistant director of, I believe it's graphic design, but he's probably going to correct me. I think it's creative over football. Regardless, I've been following Austin and Will's work for the longest time. They do phenomenal work down there. Be looking out for their content this year, because I feel like it's only going to level up. Texas A&M always brings it. So they're definitely on my Mount Rushmore. I would just put Texas A&M's creative as a whole, and Florida too. I guess you could put Florida too, but those are the 2 names that I've been influenced by. Number 3. I thought I was going to have a name for y'all, and I'm trying to think of, because those 2, wow. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay, we're going to go outside of college. I know I probably said this is my Mount Rushmore of collegiate designers, but I want to kind of I'll give you 2 college, but I'm going to give you 2 other creatives outside of college at the professional ranks that I think are also deserving of being on this list. Joe Raines, aka Vision of Joe, on Instagram and Twitter. He was actually the first one that allowed me to be a part of a graphic design group chat. I'll never forget that, because that's where I made a lot of connections and networked with a lot of people, including Austin, who was also in that group chat. Immensely indebted to him, but Joe has his own sleek and distinct style. When you see a Yahoo Sports graphic, you can point it out. He's currently at Yahoo Sports. I think he's been there for, I want to say 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. From his color grading to his color correction, his player correction, to just how he sets up his compositions are just flawless. I absolutely love what he's been able to do with his work. He's been doing the freelance grind, but I'm sure if you've been looking at Yahoo Sports, who he's been with the past couple years, I'm sure you could probably make out some of his graphics too. So he's on that list. Shout out to Joe. Joe is one of my favorite graphic designers, and still to this day. All right, I got one for y'all. Devin Carvajal? I think it's Carvajal. It might be Carvajal, but I could be wrong. So if I butcher the last name, which, sorry, forgive me, Devin. Devin's on that list. In a world where a lot of professional teams, I'm a big fan of NFL. That is my favorite sport. Devin has kind of pushed the envelope with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's done phenomenal work for them. I think he's been there for over 4 to 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. I caught a glimpse of his work when I first got into the graphic design world back in 2023, and he's been an inspiration ever since. Some of the work that he's done, including some of the draft work I've seen over the past 2 years, his in-season content that he did last year for the Jaguars, just absolutely insane, remarkable content that he's done for those guys. Yeah, dude, Devin is definitely on my Mount Rushmore for one of my favorite graphic designers. So yeah, that is my Mount Rushmore of graphic designers. That being said, make sure you find those guys and follow them, because those guys are some of the biggest influences and inspirations to my workflow. And I've learned a lot from those guys. So, yep. Thank you guys.